Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and I got good news. Nova, we got good news, don't we? You want to share it? No, she doesn't. But anyways, we fully raised the money for the Hearthstone, for the Wild tournament that we're going to be doing, the 1K through the raid download. So thank you to everyone who's done that. I'll have news on that in the near future. Hopefully we'll have it up in the next month or so. But thank you guys for that. And let's get into the card review stuff. Enough of that. There's a bunch of cards that were leaked early, basically by the Play Hearthstone YouTube channel, and then they privated it. But we caught them, we saw them, so we're gonna go over that plus a bunch of other cards. And yeah, let's take a look at all the new cards that have been revealed. So starting off with Grimoire of Sacrifice, 1 mana Warlock spell. This is one of the leaked ones. The first 3, by the way, aren't the leaked ones that I'm aware of. It's a 1 mana Warlock spell. Destroy a friendly minion, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So you destroy it like a little token, you deal 2 damage. Can be pretty powerful. Not quite Plague of Flames powerful, which is rotating, but this is kind of that similar vein of a cheap AoE, self-sacrificing, can be good on like an egg, a little imp, something like that. These effects usually see some play, and it's cheap and relatively efficient, so you could see it pop up, but it's definitely one of those kind of more fringe control-y type of things. But it only goes to enemy minions, so that's something to consider, but again, not something I would think that's going to be super impactful. Next is Soul Crushing. I've seen multiple translations on this. It might not be called Soul Crushing, but the card will definitely do what it says, and that's 4 mana, deal 5 damage to all minions. That includes your own. That's incredibly powerful for 4 mana, but you destroy a card in your deck for each one that dies. And no, you cannot corrupt this and have it delete your opponent's cards afterwards. So it's an insane AoE that's relatively cheap, that can come out early, that kills basically everything early game, but you're also going to be destroying cards in your deck. So it's going to really depend if you're a control deck or whatever you're playing, because this is a control type card, doesn't care about deleting cards in your own deck. It's highly unlikely, but you never know. This might be more of like a Yogg-Saron type of card that just does some ridiculous milling of yourself, but I can't really see it. But again, we'll have to see what else comes out. But yikes, deleting cards from your own deck typically is pretty detrimental unless you're like an aggro deck that really doesn't care, and this is the opposite of an aggro card. And last of the leaked cards is Warlock Mercenary, 3 mana 1/3 legendary minion for Warlock after you cast a shadow spell, so like the last one there, that costs 1 or more. Add a copy to your hand, it costs 0. So we all know how crazy 0 cost cards can be. We saw the last 2 spells, I believe, are shadow spells, so you play that, you could get a 0 mana copy of delete your own deck, but also destroy the board. But yeah, whatever other shadow spells there are, I'm not sure if like Power Overwhelming and Wild will be a shadow spell, because think about Warlock Mercenary, Power Overwhelming, get more of those. That's like an incredible burst combo potential in Wild, so we'll have to look and see what type of spells are shadow based. But yeah, there's no limit on this, and they cost 0. You can play them for 0. Maybe like Dark Bomb in Wild as well. There's a lot of implications for this card, and we'll have to really take a look at that shadow tag as we find out exactly what spells will have it. Next, we have Yoink. This is a rogue spell, 1 mana, discover a hero power, and then you set its cost to 0, and then you swap back after 2 uses. So you can discover like a steady shot, life tap, whatever, for 0 mana. You get to use it twice, and then you get your dagger back. And well, that's a lot of mana cheat. Like the hero powers cost 2, and you get them for free, and then you swap it back. Is that good enough? I don't know. It can give you reach, it can maybe give you draw, you can get a useless totem, you could heal up or get some armor if you're wanting to do that. It's pretty flexible, and when you have cards like Wand Maker, it'll generate Yoink, or you can get it randomly off of maybe other effects. But yeah, this card might be good enough to play. It's a cheap combo activator as well. It's just very flexible. This card seems pretty decent, and Grizzled Wizard is rotating to Wild, so you won't be able to basically play this and then play Grizzle Wizard and screw your opponent's hero power over. That could be a thing, but that's more going to be a thing in Wild. But yeah, this card seems kind of very much like Tour Guide-ish to me, where you cheat a bunch of mana and you you can save it for later too. There is a lot of implications for this card. I could definitely see it popping up, and that it's not just some silly meme card. Next, we have the Hunter Legendary Barak Kodobane. 5 mana, 3/5. It has the battle cry of draw 1, 2, and 3 cost spells. So 5 mana, draw 3. Hunter is getting draw, and it's not just Master's Call. This tutors out spells. You can get, well, we'll show a spell later that it can tutor out, but it can, get a lot of stuff, and Hunter typically never has had access to draw, and they're getting it in the form of this legendary minion. Kind of reminiscent of that Menagerie legendary for Warrior that hasn't seen a ton of play, but drawing spells is a heck of a lot more effective than drawing tribal minions, and I would be very surprised if this doesn't pop up in some type of mid-range beast deck where, you can draw some stuff, get to your good beasts, and maybe do other creative stuff. Definitely a card to look out for. Next, we have Cariel Rome. This is a Paladin legendary. 4 mana, 4/3, Divine Shield Rush. So right away, that's just a good card. And whenever this attacks, reduce the cost of holy spells in your hand by 1. Well, Libram Paladin just got a little bit better because it needed the help, because its holy is confirmed to be the spell types of the Libram cards. This will discount your Libram of Wisdom, your Libram of Justice, your Libram of Hope, and did it need more buffs? Apparently, and this is a really good card. You can put Libram of Wisdom on this card in trade-in, and yeah, this just seems really solid. 4 mana, 4/3, Divine Shield Rush, good. Discount's good. This card seems very, very good, and even if it doesn't even discount, is it really that bad? Not particularly, just a really, really strong card. Next, we have the Condemned spell for Priest. 2 mana, it deals 1 damage to all enemy minions, so that's pretty rough, but if you upgrade it to 5, it deals 2. Not great. If you upgrade it to 10 mana, when you have 10 mana, it deals 3. It's like Excavated Evil for 2 mana, not bad, but again, you gotta have 10 mana crystals. Feels like the 5 mana and 10 mana versions of this card are not fantastic, and then it's pretty good at 10, but again, you have to get to turn 10. It's not like this is in Druid where you can ramp up. Maybe if you use a card like Moarg Artificer, this card becomes a little bit better, or spell damage, something along those lines, but feels very underwhelming. It feels very expensive until basically rank 3, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe there's some more synergistic stuff to go with it, but definitely not sold on Condemned quite yet. Next, we have the Secret Tack Horde Operative. 3 mana, 3/4. Battle Cry. Copy your opponent's secrets and put them into play. Everyone's like, yeah, screw Secret Mage, but this really sucks against Secret Mage. You don't steal the secrets, you copy them. So let's say you're facing Secret Mage that played Rig Fair Game and Explosive Runes. You play this and you'll get Explosive Runes or Rig Fair Game, but this will blow up and you'll still won't be able to deal with their board nor their secrets, and they'll play Occult Conjure and screw you. And this card's not great against a non-secret class, so only really decent against, let's say, Paladin, Rogue, and Mage, and I guess Hunter as well, but copying them is not, it's just not that great. It just, I can't see this being a good tech option. It's no Eater of Secrets, but Standard doesn't have the greatest things. It's got like that SI card, and that's about it. So I'm not sold on this being a good card, but it is pretty cool. If you really want to screw on Secret Mage, you could play Horde Operative and then Eater of Secrets and then really go crazy on them. So there you go. But overall, not really sold on this as a good tech card. Next, we have the Paladin spell Invigorating Sermon. 4 mana. Get +1/+1 to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. So it's like Keleseth on 4. It's a holy spell, can be discounted by that legendary we just talked about, and that's pretty good. That's a lot of buffing. That hits literally everything in play, in your hand, on the battlefield, all that. So is this going to be good enough? We'll have to wait and see. It can get cheaper. The buff stuff can be good. I'm not sold. It's pretty expensive. Even you kind of want it to be like 3 or 2 mana probably, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm just not sold on it. Basically, I just don't see much slotting into the Libram style of archetype, but maybe some hand buff thing, or, well, this is like all buff thing works out, but again, potentially powerful, especially the fact you can make this cheaper. We have Kolkar, Pack Runner, 2 mana, 2/3 minion for Hunter. This is not a beast, but after you cast a spell, you summon a 1/1 hyena with Rush, which is a beast. Yeah, you can kind of do like little miracle turns with this, where you play a bunch of cheap spells, get a bunch of Rush minions, play Scavenging Hyena, buff them up. There's some implications for this card. We'll have to see what type of cheap spell support there is for Hunter, but there is already like that 1 mana spell that deals 2 or more if you have a bunch of beasts on the board that hasn't seen a ton of play, but card like that can make a card like this very good. So definitely strong potential for it, and it's a premium stat minion with potentially infinite value in terms of generating rush minions, so very, very potentially powerful. Next we have Light Shower Elemental, 6 mana, 6/6, taunt, death rattle, restore hate health to all friendly characters. I'm sorry, Golden Shower, what? Anyways, yeah, this is an annoying taunt minion for a priest, which is what they do. It does an absurd amount of healing, not only to their face, but to all minions on the board. And if you can resurrect this, it's probably pretty annoying. Does it make the cut in Wild and Big Priest? Probably not, but that is a lot of healing, so maybe you just want an absurd amount of healing, and you can resummon it with N'Zoth, and yeah, in Standard, you can resummon this with N'Zoth, the new N'Zoth. So interesting implications. There's no really res effects right now in Priest in Standard, and I hope it stays that way. But a card like a standalone card like this, probably not good enough. But yeah, if you can resurrect it or cheat it out, who knows? And yeah, that's a really weird kind of yellow image with Light Shower. Very weird. Next, we have a Martian Elite, 5 mana, 4/4 warrior epic. Taunt Battlecry. If your hero attack this turn, summon a copy of this. So if you hand buff it with like that Feat of Strength, I think it's called, the 3 mana +5/+5 spell, you attack with this like with your Scythe on 4, or you're really lucky and you didn't hit your Sword Eater with this buff, then you attack and you have a 5 mana 18/18 in taunt, or at the very worst, a 5 mana 8/8 in taunt. This card just seems very powerful, very potentially powerful, especially with those hand buff things going on. Like, how do you answer that outside of like Hysteria and Priest? It's going to be pretty rough. So yeah, this card could work out if the taunt hand buff stuff is good enough. Like, this puts it over the top. This card very well could. It's just so much stats, and it's something you can't ignore because it's taunt. So look out for Martian Elite. We have No Fin Can Stop Us. No Fin Can Stop Us. I like the pun. 3 mana spell for Shaman. Give your minions +1/+1. So it's like Mark of the Lotus for 3, but give your Murlocs an extra +1/+1. So that's a nice little boost. So if you're not playing Murlocs, this buff's definitely not worth it. But if you are, then it is. Will Murloc Shaman be a thing? Haven't really seen anything to indicate that quite yet. But look out, the second it does get, you know, something good, this will pop into it. And there's a lot of good like Murlocs in Wild. Like, Murloc Shaman isn't a bad deck there, and it certainly would love to run this. So definitely we'll see some play in Wild, and I'm assuming they're going to make some Murlocs work in Standard as well. We have Oil Rig Ambusher. This is a 4 mana rogues card. Battlecry, deal 2 damage. If this entered your hand this turn, deal 4 instead. So you top deck this, it's a 4 mana 4/4. It's like Gormok the Impaler without requiring a big board state. And other than that, it's like an active SI agent. This card just seems solid. It's good tempo. It can go face. I can't possibly see this card being that bad. Like, it's just solid. This is a really good arena card, I can tell you that much. And does it make the cut in today's rogue decks? I don't think so, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, pretty sweet card. And then we have Sigil of Flame, Demon Hunter spell. At the start of your next turn, deal 3 damage to all minions. So it's like Excavated Evil for 5 mana, except, well, for 2, but you get to play it on 2, and it's kind of got that Doomsayer effect where your opponent doesn't really want to develop, right? They'll develop, and basically everything on turn 3 will probably die to this. So pretty cool AoE. I don't know if it takes the place of like an Immolation Aura in like, say, a controlish like Soul Fragment DH or OTK DH deck, but certainly could. Very powerful AoE, and has some interesting implications on when to time it, how to play around it. I think it's a really cool card. Next, we have another of the leveled up spells. This one's for Hunter Tame Beast. For 2 mana, you summon a 2/2 beast with Rush. At rank 2, where you have 5 mana, you'll get a 4/4, and at rank 3 at 10 mana, you get a 6/6. So the 2 mana version's kind of mediocre, but not horrendous. The 5 mana version's pretty good. 2 mana 4/4 with Rush, it's pretty damn good. And then at 10 mana, 6/6 Rush is fantastic. So of like the leveling up cards, this one seems to be one of the better ones, and works very well with the Hunter Legendary. You draw this with that, and if you're drawing it with this, you're at 5 mana crystal, so you get a 4/4, and it's flexible. This card just seems very solid, and I imagine it will see a good amount of play. Big fan of that one. And lastly, we have the Veteran War Medic. It's an epic for Paladin. After you cast a holy spell, summon a 2/2 medic with lifesteal. Libram of Wisdoms are holy spells. They're very easily made 0. You play this, you get a bunch of 2/2 medics with lifesteal. Is that good? Probably. Broomstick is still a card, and will probably still be in that deck. And you can give all those 2/2 medics with lifesteal Rush. and heal up. So yeah, Libram Paladin's getting a lot of good stuff, and that deck is already really good. So look out. Maybe they're planning on some nerfs, or they just want Libram Paladin to be like the nuts. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'm wrong, but this card just seems really sweet in that deck. And that's all the cards I have right now. There'll be more revealed as we go along. So make sure to hit that sub button to get notified when the next review goes live. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.